Hey, ladies. So today is Sunday, July 18th, 2021. 16 weeks pregnant and roughly give or take a few days. And um, so update on morning sickness is pretty much gone now. It's a lot better than it was. So I am very thankful for that. But I have had some other things such as heartburn, which started pretty early this pregnancy as well. That I've been dealing with. I've had it probably I've had it probably I was going to say last 3 weeks, but longer than that. Um, And I've experienced heartburn in my pregnancy before with my last pregnancy, but I didn't really get it until later when probably like late second, early third trimester where when the baby's a lot larger. But this time it started for me in the first trimester, so I finally started taking Pepcid. I was taking Tums, but Tums were kind of an after the fact thing when I was already feeling the heartburn. And so I started taking Pepcid to try to head it off. So my understanding, you need to take that 10 to 60 minutes before you eat, and then it's supposed to last roughly 12 hours. So I started taking Pepcid AC, and that so far has helped me. I've also, very similar to my last pregnancy, so this has been consistent, have had constipation issues. I know that's like TMI, but whatever. Um, and for that, I still haven't found a permanent solution or a real solution. I just can say high fiber diet is all I can say. Like I eat oatmeal a lot. I eat prunes every morning. I'm eating like chickpeas, greens, like green vegetables, things that give you like high fiber, whatever you can think of high fiber. I would say just add it to your diet because I know a lot of pregnant women struggle with constipation. Another thing that I actually found out that is supposed to be pretty helpful with constipation. I do take it. I have been I took it I didn't take it during my last pregnancy, but I took it when I was breastfeeding because it's supposed to help with milk production. So that's just something to keep in mind. Moringa. So that's what I'm talking about, moringa. But only moringa leaf. So it has to be very careful that you're using moringa leaf because there's some concerns about like the root or other parts of it. Or listen, just moringa leaf. If it's not leaf, if it has any other part, I wouldn't take it. But this is what I've been taking moringa powder since since I started breastfeeding. So about 2 years ago. Because it's supposed to help milk production. It also help the nutrition of your milk. So that's something to keep in mind for later if you plan to breastfeed. But I found out for pregnancy, it is supposed to be still safe to take, but also it's supposed to help with like constipation, and women claim that they also get increased energy from it. I take it as part of I guess just a regimen. So I had stopped taking everything when I had morning sickness. Like when I had morning sickness really bad, I didn't take it. Only thing it was a lot just to get my prenatal pill down. So if I was getting that down and my blood pressure medication, that was all I was taking. Everything else was just like I stopped the moringa. So I'm back to it now that I can keep things in, without throwing everything up. I'm back to the moringa. So I would say if you can take that, take it, or some probiotics. I'm taking probiotics. So I have like this whole thing that I'm taking now. I'm taking vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, all which are safe. Um, and I didn't take them before. I started taking them after I went to go get the COVID 19 vaccine, and the pharmacist kind of like shamed me out of it for now. Um, And I talked about that, I think, in my last video. And he was like, take vitamin C, D, and zinc. So it's not bad to take them anyway. And when you are pregnant, your immune system is compromised regardless. So, because it's your body's putting so many resources into growing this new life that you can catch like a cold more easily and things like that. So I thought, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to take that either way. So just something I plan to take. It's probably something to take regardless, even if you're not pregnant. Um, I was taking pills, and I did a video about that months ago, and all these other pills I was taking to boost my immune system. But I stopped taking them, not only just because I stopped taking everything when I had morning sickness, but also because the wellness formula that I showed you before, it has a lot of herbs and different things in it that I was not sure were safe in pregnancy. It has a lot of different things. So I just felt like I won't risk it. I'll get back to it later. Um, and so I just said, let me just stick to things that I 100% know are safe. C, D, and zinc are. So right now I'm taking those C, D, Z, zinc. I'm taking my prenatal, of course, my blood pressure medication, Pepcid AC, B6. B6 I started taking because it was supposed to help with the nausea. I have not stopped taking it yet. I don't know if it really helped, but it was another vitamin. So I take that twice a day, and then I was taking Unisom at night because that was supposed to help with the nausea and vomiting for morning sickness. I think more nausea than vomiting, but I have also the Zofran prescription that the doctor gave me, so that I think actually helped the most. But I was still taking the B6 and Unisom combo that a lot of women swear by, and so I'm still doing that just because, I mean, the morning sickness has stopped, but I'm still taking those things. So all of that, um, the moringa, and what else? I did just mention something else, and like that, my mind just blinked. Um, Oh, probiotics. So I'm taking a probiotic. So yeah, but I was on probiotics before, and I was on moringa before. I want to try to add in some garlic supplements. I'm already taking a lot though, because I'm thinking like, I know garlic supplements are supposed to help your blood pressure. My blood pressure has actually been good this pregnancy. It hasn't been like crazy. It wasn't really crazy my last pregnancy. It didn't get crazy until after my last pregnancy, like a week later, right after delivery. And so that is why I've like just been on the blood pressure medication forever, because it never really went back down to its normal place. And so for this pregnancy, we're expecting my blood pressure to be slightly elevated because it wasn't the last pregnancy, which is why I will be induced at 38 weeks again. So I know that's the end of this for me. And but I wanted to add in garlic. Like, my blood pressure hasn't been really high or really like high. Normally it's in the normal, is in the low, well, not low, but in the normal range. I take it every day at home. I did not do that during my first pregnancy. I did not take it. I know it's probably bad for me to say, but I only took it when the doctor took it, and I started taking it after it went crazy after I gave birth, but I did not take it during the pregnancy. So this pregnancy, I do monitor it. But it's still like, normally like I take it at home and it's usually fine. And then, if I go to the doctor and I get nervous, like, oh gosh, I don't want to hear her talking about my blood pressure or telling me, oh my God, we have to do this or would do whatever. But I am also on a blood pressure medication, which I wasn't on my first pregnancy. So there is that too. But as I said, I want to add some garlic supplements in there. It's supposed to help blood pressure. If not, it wouldn't hurt the pregnancy because garlic, you eat garlic. But the only thing is that I know that garlic can give you heartburn, and I just didn't want to add it in because I'm already experiencing heartburn. But maybe with the Pepcid, that won't be an issue. So if I'm thinking about adding that back in, but I'm like, Lord. Oh, and another pill I'm taking, I'm also taking a baby aspirin. So for blood pressure, pregnant women who, now aspirin generally is not safe to take during pregnancy, but pregnant women that have a history of high blood pressure or high blood pressure in pregnancies or currently have high blood pressure, they think that baby aspirin once a day is supposed to help, um, you know, keep away preeclampsia or anything like that, or any. So they found like that has helped. So I do take baby aspirin once a day in addition to all the other stuff that I've already named. Um, so yeah. So anyway, my daughter turned 2 last week. I didn't do a video about it. It was just like I have a 2-year old now, and I'm getting ready, like, in several months to have another baby, and it's just like, this is a lot. I knew it would be a lot, but it's a lot. And I knew, I wanted to grow my family. I wanted them to be fairly close in age, because I did not want her to be alone. And I've talked all about that in past videos, but having a 2-year-old is a lot. And she's a handful and a half, like 2 handfuls. And it's just like, I mean, she's so smart and she's so wonderful in so many ways and so funny, and she knows the alphabet, and she's known the alphabet before she even turned 2. The entire alphabet, can recognize all the letters. She can count up to 20. I mean, like, she's so amazing. She knows all the animal sounds. She knows certain words, but she's a pain. She can read words. She knows all the colors. She can read the colors. She knows, if you show her the word of the color, she knows what color it is. She can read it to you. She can read a lot of words. I do credit the Your Baby Can Read program for that. I definitely will be using that again. I still use it, but I definitely will be using it for this next child. I credit it for, I mean, we've gone beyond with a lot more words that she can read, but I credit it for helping to start us on that path. But oh God, she is, I mean, the terrible twos are the terrible twos, and it's, no one's joking. And we got to the terrible twos like 6 months ago, because she just started being a terror like 6 months ago, and I guess it's not going to stop. But she's so headstrong and determined, and I'm just trying to figure out, people when they don't have kids, or they always, or maybe people always want to tell you what you should, you should do this or you should do that. But like, when it's your own and you're in this situation, it's like, oh, okay. Parenting is a little harder than people, outside backseat drivers say it is, when they're just telling you this or that. But anyway, so that's, yeah, my 2-year-old. So I don't know, figure that out, because I'm going to have 2, and one will still be 2 when this one is born, and I will try to figure out how to manage the 2 of them. People do it, right? People do it even closer ages. People have twins. I mean, so it can be done. So anyway, so I'm trying to figure out why I feel so much worse this pregnancy, and not just the morning sickness, because that's past right now, fingers crossed, but also like, I feel more bloated. I feel like a stuffed turkey. I was going to say pig, but, or cow or something already, and I'm just 4 months, and this is not a new feeling. This feeling started, I would say, months ago, but it started very early in this pregnancy. And I couldn't understand, because I'm like, this baby is only like a few inches big, and even now, and then, and before, when it was even smaller, I was like, why do I feel so, like, I would have pressure, and my lower abdomen, or my abdomen, or I just feel so like, ugh, all the time. And I tried to, I was talking to my doctor about that, and she mentioned that it is because things they don't always tell you about pregnancy. I've always, I always find it amazing. But this is pretty common. So this is not a everybody's pregnant. I guess everybody's pregnancy is different, so that's always my disclaimer. But the things that they don't always tell you. So when you have more than one pregnancy, second, third, 12th, whatever you're on, um everything after the first one, right? Because in the first, your muscles are tighter, your uterus is all new and unused. And then you get pregnant and you carry this baby, and your uterus gets all stretched out. Now, it does go back, but it never quite goes back the way it used to be, even though it can go back. But it stretches a lot easier now. So the way she explained it to me was that because the uterus and the pelvic floor muscles have already been stretched, this baby is easy, can more easily sit lower, and can, like, like this child is probably way more comfortable than my first child was, because she was kind of, pushing. I guess she had to push, as she grew, the muscle stretched for her. But like for this one, they're just like I just messed up. It sounds horrible that they do this to our bodies, but the muscles are more stretched, and the pelvic floor and the uterus is more stretched. And so you're like, this child is lower down in my pelvis and lower down, and so there's more pressure. That explains the pressure. So that's why the pressure is felt earlier. It's also the reason why women may notice on their second pregnancy or beyond, they show earlier. Like like my first pregnancy, I didn't really start showing. I mean, maybe I was in denial, but like I didn't tell people at my job, and I was going in the office every day until about 6, 7 months pregnant. And I think people were like, "Oh, I thought you might have been putting a little weight," but I didn't look like, some women 7 months pregnant definitely can't hide it. Like I was still at a point where I didn't have, I wasn't large. And even when I went to deliver at 38 weeks, I went into the hospital and was on the maternity floor, and I asked one of the nurses for directions to labor and delivery. And she looked at me and said, "Are you pregnant?" Which I kind of took as a compliment, but I don't know. She's like, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "No." And then she just, and then I kind of like, I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And then she, we kind of laughed, but I took it as a compliment. Like, the point was, I wasn't obviously pregnant. Some people, I think, just thought I was, kind of fat. Um, I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's also is the reason why people weren't giving me seats on the train the way that people probably should, because they were thinking, "Oh, this is just some fat chick and she should stand and burn some calories," I guess, because they wouldn't, I had to go and say something and be all obvious about the pregnancy for people to give me seats. So, hoping to avoid that this time and not be on many trains. But anyway, so that's the thing. So like you start to show earlier in your second plus pregnancies, and your muscles are stretched, and your baby is like stretched. I mean, it's already stretched. Doesn't mean it won't go. I mean, it's rubbery. It'll go back or stretch. It'll do whatever it does after this baby is born, like it did with the first one. But um, I mean, it won't ever be, fresh and new again. So it stretches way more easily. And so that's why I have all this pressure and feel like a, bloated. Like I feel like like I have a harder time. Sometimes I'm just like getting, not getting up, but I just feel, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. So that's that, ladies. I will continue to update you as things progress, but just wanted to tell you about where I am now and how things are going. And we'll, I'll keep you posted. So be safe, and I will talk to you all soon.